Bonsuelo, everybody. Okay, what I have here is examples we're going to go through together. Most of what I talked about in the last file was how to find the common denominator, although I did talk about addition and subtraction. Okay? But I just think you need to see more examples. All right. The files after this will be ones for you to work out on your own, but these we'll go through together. All right, so let's take a look. Again, to find the common denominator, let's factor. Well, 24 is going to be, it's what, 8 times 3, right? So it's 2 to the third times 3, that's 24, x to the third, y to the 8th. 9 is 3 squared, x to the 5th, and then y to the 5th. Okay, let's find the common denominator. And I like to write it as 1. By the way, let me just point out something. You don't need to write this down. Let's say you have 1/2 plus 1/3. Okay, the common denominator is 6. You can do this. Rewrite the denominator twice. Okay, but you know what? That's going to get really tedious. So what I do instead, I know this doesn't seem like a big deal, and in this problem it's not, but I would just write the 6 once and then do it like this. It will save you a lot of work, okay? But anyway, that's just a quick comment I want to make. So I'm going to write the common denominator once. All right. Again, I'm going to write down every factor. So we have a 2, a 3, an x, and a y. Okay, what's the largest exponent for the 2? Cubed. What's the largest exponent for the 3? Squared. Largest exponent for the x is 5. And the largest exponent for the y is 8. Okay, now what do I do about the numerator? Look at the first fraction. Look at its denominator. What am I missing? Well, I have the 2 cubed. But notice the original fraction is a 3, and this has a 3 squared. So I'm missing a 3. So if I have to multiply top and bottom by 3. Okay, the common denominator is x to the 5th. Well, this first fraction has an x to the third, so what am I missing? An x squared. You're just supplying whatever's missing to get the common denominator. Okay, and then this first fraction is y to the 8th, and the common denominator is y to the 8th, so that's it. Okay, let's take a look at the second fraction. Well, we're missing a 2 cubed. There's no 2 cubed in this. Or if you just want to put 8, that's fine. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by 2 cubed. All right, we've got the x to the 5th. That's fine. Oh, we have the 3 squared, so that's fine. We have the x to the 5th. But notice we have y to the 5th, whereas the common denominator is y to the 8th. So we're missing a y cubed. So this is going to be then 3x squared plus, and 4 times 8 is going to be 32 y to the 3rd. Okay, and then we should combine these. So that's going to be 8 times 9, which is 72. So we have 3x squared plus 32 y to the 3rd all over 72 x to the 5th y to the 8th. Okay. All right. Get rid of that little thing down there. Okay, here, what are we going to do? Again, factor the denominator. So this is x times x gives us x squared. What will give us 10, -5, and -2, which gives us the -7x in the middle. In this case, we have, now let me show you what you don't want to do. It's not x minus 5 times x minus 5. Okay? Well, it is x minus 5 times x minus 5, but you can't write it that way. You have to write it with exponents. Factor and write with exponents. Okay? Now, what's the common denominator? Well, first of all, we'll write down all factors, x minus 5 and x minus 2. Okay, what's the largest exponent for an x minus 5? Squared. And what's the largest exponent for x minus 2? Just 1, so that's fine. Okay, so now let's get the numerator. Look at the first denominator. Look at the common denominator. What's missing from that first denominator? And what's missing is another x minus 5. So we have to multiply top and bottom by x minus 5. Let's take a look at the second one. What's missing from this denominator that we see here? Well, an x minus 2. So what we're going to do is multiply top and bottom by x minus 2. Okay, so now let's multiply together. And here's the key to getting this right. Put the numerator of the first fraction in parentheses. So we're going to take x minus 5 times x plus 7. That's x squared plus 2x minus 35. And then plus. And put the numerator of the second fraction in parentheses. That would be x squared minus x minus 2. And now we'll combine like terms. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. 2x minus x is minus x. And negative 35 minus 2 is negative 37. And that's all over x minus 5 quantity squared times x minus 2. Okay? All right, the next one. This is x minus 7 times x plus 7. So what's the common denominator? X minus 7 and x plus 7. Okay? So, now, what's missing from the first fraction that we see in the common denominator in x plus 7? So we're going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 7. And what's missing from the second fraction? Nothing. So the first fraction gives us, in parentheses, x squared plus 8x plus 7. And then minus, and the second fraction numerator just stays, x plus 2. So we get x squared minus 7x, plus 7x. So we have x squared plus 7x plus 5 all over x minus 7 times x plus 7. And you should look to see if you could factor the numerator to see if you can cancel anything, but the numerator doesn't factor. Actually, even on this one, you'd look to see if you could factor the numerator and then cancel, but it doesn't factor, okay? So that's it. Okay, now notice, take a look at this number 4. Take a look at this one. We usually like the x squared to be positive, right? I mean, so how do we get this to be positive? Well, you can do it by factoring out a negative x, but don't do it that way. What you want to do is multiply top and bottom by negative 1. So what we get is x minus 4 all over x minus 1 plus x plus 7 all over x plus 3. Now, what do I do with this negative? I could give it to the numerator and call it negative x negative x minus 5, but instead I'm going to give it to the whole fraction and call it minus x plus 5. And this negative I'm going to give to the denominator. All of this is going to become x squared plus 2x minus 3. And now we'll factor the denominators. So this would be x plus 3 times x minus 1. Okay, so what's our common denominator? I see an x minus 1. I see an x plus 3. And that's all. Okay, so what am I missing from the first denominator to the common denominator in x plus 3? So I'm going to multiply that by top and bottom. On the second fraction, what am I missing? An x minus 1. So I'm going to do that to the top and bottom. And I'm not missing anything from the last fraction. So we multiply out the first fraction and get x squared minus x minus 12. Then plus. Multiply out the second fraction and we get x squared plus 6x minus 7. And the second fraction just stays minus the quantity x plus 5. So we get x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Negative x plus 6x minus x. So that would be plus 4x. And then negative 12 plus negative 7 is negative 19. Minus 5 is minus 24. And that's all over x minus 1 times x plus 3. Now, we should check to see if we can factor the numerator and then cancel with the denominator. Could we? I don't know. Let's check it. Maybe. So let's factor the 2 first. And that gives us x squared plus 2x minus 12 all over x minus 1 times x plus 3. Okay, well, does x squared plus 2x minus 12 factor? Let's see, 12 would give us, so that's going to be x times x. 12 would give us, 3 and 4, so that's not going to work. It could give us 6 and 2. That's not going to end up giving 2x in the middle. It could be 12 and 1. No, so it doesn't factor. I mean, you can test it, but it doesn't factor. So that would be your answer. Actually, we should even go back to the original problem. Not the original problem, but the original answer without the 2 factored out at all. So that would be your answer. Okay. Now, a little bit larger problem. This will be the last one. Okay, so let's factor the denominators. So we have x minus 5 times x plus 2, x plus 7, and x plus 2. And this would be x plus 7 and x minus 5. Okay, so what factors do I see? I see an x minus 5, an x plus 2, an x plus 7. All right, I've already got the x plus 2. The x plus 7 I've got, and the x minus 5 I've got. So good, that's our common denominator. Okay, so again, let's just ask, what do I not see in the first fraction's denominator that I see in the common denominator? Well, an x plus 7. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 7. How about in the second fraction? What do I not see in the denominator there that's in the common denominator? An x minus 5. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x minus 5. And in the third fraction, what do I not see in the denominator that I see in the common denominator? And that's an x plus 2. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 2. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to multiply x plus 7 times x plus 7. So it's x squared plus 14x plus 49 in parentheses minus, in parentheses. Now I'm going to multiply the x minus 5 and the x minus 10. So it's x squared minus 15x plus 50. And then plus, and I'm going to take the x plus 2 times x minus 1. So that's x squared plus x minus 2. Now let's combine those, whatever we can. We have x squared minus x squared plus x squared is just x squared. 14x minus a negative 15x is 29x. Plus x is plus 30x. 49 minus 50 is negative 1. Plus negative 2 is minus 3. And that's all over x minus 5 times x plus 2 times x plus 7. Okay, The next couple files are ones for you to try. So there's no real video for them. It's just you try them, and then I'll have an answer file. But just watching me doing it all the time isn't really going to help you, so you just need to do it yourself. If you have any questions, please ask. Bonsuelo, everybody.